Alright, let's see what happens in the new installment of Love in Deep Space. My vision goes dark, everything blurs as the universe finds a strange stillness in its chaos, and then it fades to nothing. Also, yay for morning voice. A strong resonance pulses through my body. It stirs fragmented memories that drift like fading apparitions. A pale planet appears. It's strange yet familiar. And then there's an overwhelming force as silent as a black hole. It's a massive artificial eye. It's been a while since I dreamed about the explosion. Looking back, those roaring flames feel like a surreal, distant nightmare. The searing heat in my dreams is still vivid, but the pain in my heart is gone. Maybe it's because the ether core within me has achieved full power. To investigate and deal with anomalous incidents related to the ether cores, the association secretly began Operation Ether Ordeal. Over the past few months, we swiftly and discreetly handled numerous anomalies and documented information about new ether core. We termed it the Spatium Core. Is that Spatium? After completing several investigations, I learned how seemingly unrelated issues were connected in surprising ways. Silas's brief absence gave the forces who coveted the ether core in the N109 zone an opening. Xavier's former teammates, who have gone separate ways, possess cutting-edge protocol technology, and their goals extend beyond just targeting Xavier. The strange black crystals are deeply connected to the old battle, causing Zane's nightmares to worsen. And with the watchful eyes of some secret observers, Raphael is forced to quietly search for the power seal within the tome of the sea god. When traced back to their source, these unrelated threads are connected to one massive entity, Ever. The limited amount of evidence we have also suggests that Ever was the true mastermind behind the Bloomshore District explosion. Well, that's nothing new.
It's been a week since the explosion in the Cascade District. The Farscape fleet still has that region under lockdown. No updates, no details revealed about the investigation. The public is demanding answers.
Is the new fleet colonel defying the Hunters Association by prohibiting hunters from investigating? Would you say tensions are rising?
Deal with those reporters.
Understood.
The entire garden has been blown to bits. Hey, rookie, go investigate.
Yes, Captain. The energy trail I can resonate with is faint, but it's similar to the one belonging to an ether core. The source must be over here.
It's gonna rain tomorrow evening, and all traces will be washed away. Make sure to be done before then.
Nej, vad gjorde jag nu? Så. The garden is in ruins. I bend down to dodge the fleet's soldiers and crime scene investigators, wearing white gloves on the other side of the hedge. It's right behind these bushes. The burnt vines twist through the vegetation. The silent oppression swallows even the faintest of sound. Behind the layer of leaves and petals, it's as if a small hand darts among the tangled branches. I quickly reach out, but my fingers touch another scorched wall. That brief, vaguely familiar energy fluctuation ripples through the air before vanishing. I knew it! 1 week ago. Hunters Association Skyhaven branch. A metaflux explosion occurred at Villa Area 6, Cascade District, Skyhaven. 2 young siblings were home. One was injured and hospitalized, while the other is missing. The parents are unreachable. The Skyhaven branch suspects an ether core at the site and requests assistance from headquarters for the investigation.
The dispatch request for the explosion incident has already been denied. And I know the details of this case are almost identical to what happened to you.
Leaning against the control desk, Jenna slides a holographic screen in front of my eyes.
But rushing to Skyhaven at this critical juncture isn't a wise decision. If I suggested you don't get involved for now, would you consider it?
I'm sorry, Captain. Seeing the glaring denied on the screen, I try to calm myself. But even if it's unrelated to that incident, it might involve the ether core. There's no reason for the association to object.
It's not them who are interfering. It's the Far Space Fleet's doing.
The Far Space Fleet?
Skyhaven is a floating artificial island that consumes a large amount of energy. The fleet controls its power supply, which grants them a substantial amount of authority. Their new colonel, who's still in the Deepspace tunnel, is concerned about the confidential information related to the fleet, and so he prevents hunters from investigating.
Why is it spelled colonel and pronounced colonel? Or whatever, I don't get it. Understood. I won't go as a hunter. I'll also avoid any conflict involving the fleet. Seeing my unwavering determination, Jenna shows a rare instance of exasperation. She sighs.
In other words, you'll encounter more than just Wanderers should you choose to enter Skyhaven. If you're sure about this, then I can approve your request for a long vacation.
A long vacation. Thank you, Captain. The day I arrived in Skyhaven coincided with new fleet cadets reporting for duty. They formed a neat line along the transfer platform. While hidden in the shadows and thinking about how to blend in, I received unexpected help from a recruit who decided to desert. In exchange for my silence, I took her place and successfully moved into the temporary living quarters for new cadets. That's actually pretty smart. When tasks were assigned, I relied on these cadets' burning ambition for flight duties, so that I was left with the unwanted ground support role, and it happened. As a result, I was brought to the explosion site in Cascade District. I never imagined I'd find myself in Skyhaven for a reason like this. Caleb. A cold metal chain touches my neck. It's the necklace I once gave to Caleb. I miss you.
Find anything, rookie?
With a stern expression, the captain walks over. I come to my senses and shake my head. Captain, I haven't seen anything suspicious.
Keep your eyes peeled, and give it another once-over.
If you miss anything, it won't be just you facing the consequences when the Colonel's starship returns.
Colonel. Yes, Captain. I don't know what's with this new colonel. Since he's butting heads with the association, it's probably better to avoid him. I definitely sensed an ether core earlier. If they blocked off the area because of it, I need to move fast. I have a question, Captain. Usually explosions like these involve casualties or people who are severely injured. How can there be individuals who have gone missing? How did the fleet confirm this? I also heard we weren't sent here to test for traces
Don't
of...
poke your nose in places where it doesn't belong. Mind your own business.
As expected, everyone in the fleet is keeping quiet about the circumstances surrounding the explosion.
Captain! A suspect just appeared! He showed up in HQ!
Oh my god!
What did you just say?
The Colonel's starship will be on the HQ's runway in 10 minutes. Command issued an emergency order. We need to head back and deal with the intruder before the Colonel returns.
They're already here? If things get too chaotic, I might be able to use it to my advantage.
Colonel, everything is ready. We'll be landing in Skyhaven without a problem. Do we have any leads yet on the
No
traitor
way.
who almost sank us in deep space 3 days ago?
I'm afraid not. Maybe our navigation was off. It could have also been unexpected turbulence.
Oh my god. He's got pretty eyes.
This trip was a test for the new fleet colonel. The old guard are looking forward to me not coming back.
No, Van Dam. Turn around. Turn around.
Unfortunately for them, I already danced with death once.
Oh, right, because he has the gravity control thing.
I won't die again.
Probably.
It doesn't matter if you succeed or fail. You've chosen treason, so the consequences are still the same.
Yo.
You don't need to return to Skyhaven.
Why is he so cold? Yo, really? Damn. Alright, don't piss off Caleb. Let's, yeah. What the fuck? Oh my god, this is exciting. Okay, let's go. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this because I have a meeting in like 2 hours. Should be fine. Should be fine, should be fine. The fleet's command center is located in the highest guard station in Skyhaven. The island itself is surrounded by bright sunlight and cold air. A tall, thin man stands at the edge of the runway, his right hand raised high like a tree touching the sky. It trembles in the wind. The sniper had already taken position before we arrived. The suspect is clutching a detonator in his right hand, so they haven't taken the shot. Captain, he's wearing a fleet uniform. Is he one of us?
Storing weapons in his private arsenal and placing explosives in residential areas. Those are ploys to provoke outsiders so they'll be dissatisfied with the fleet and the new colonel.
All units, the chance to prove yourselves is here. Pull yourself together, maggots!
Maggots. Fint. I wonder who this suspect really is and if he holds important information about this mysterious group.
They made me. The fleet forced me.
The fleet made him?
Look at the poor bastard. Driven mad by spending too much time in the deep space tunnel. Block all entrances and exits. Make sure no one sets foot on the runway.
Following the captain's orders, the entire runway is quickly surrounded in an impenetrable net. Suddenly, a loud buzzing fills the air. How is she gonna, like, react now? Under the spectacle of lights, a new fleet colonel who's been widely discussed steps out of the sleek black starship. In an orderly fashion, he approaches the man at the edge of the runway. His words are muffled by the wind.
Joseph, you were chosen to be the pilot of a year-long deep space tunnel observation mission. Your outstanding performance 3 years ago was proof of your capabilities.
His voice sounds familiar. The crowd blocks my view and I can only catch a glimpse of the figure through the gaps. His silver armband. Varför står det armband? Reflects a dazzling light.
You would have enjoyed the privileges befitting a skilled officer after your return. But 2 months ago, your wife and child died in the fleet's brig. Believing you revealed the fleet's secrets during your mission, you put your family under house arrest. They had died as a result. You're the person behind the Cascade District's explosion, yes? And you were trying to make a statement to the fleet by attacking its members.
You know why?
Is he trying to sound like Gollum?
My precious.
It's weird. Joseph sounds as if his vocal cords have been torn, his voice unpleasant to the ear. Kind of like my voice.
And yet the information I collected tells a different story. After your mission ended 2 years ago, you were suffering from the effects of long-term exposure to cosmic radiation. Your memories were severely affected. Hence, you received a prescription for the psychotropic drug Cybazin at the medical center. But you went ahead and increased the dosage on your own. You probably weren't aware that a Cybazin addiction can lead to cognitive dissonance and confusion. That's why, after your overdose, you accidentally killed your wife and child. When you recovered, you created a lie to escape from the pain of what you've done.
He speaks calmly and then everything becomes quiet.
No, that's not possible. You made me do it. You planted a mind control device in me. It's that chip.
Joseph's hoarse voice is interrupted. Reality instantly distorts behind him as a black hole appears, its edges blurred.
Enough. You don't need to defend yourself anymore.
As soon as the colonel finishes speaking, the man and the detonator are consumed by the black hole in the blink of an eye. It quickly closes and the clear sky reappears once more. But now the edge of the runway is empty.
Lock down the command center. We still have an unidentified traitor with us.
Eh? Is that me? The order is cold and everyone snaps out of their daze. My palms start to sweat and my heart races. There's only one thought in my mind. How did he know? He just got back from the deep space tunnel. Could he really know what's happening on the ground too? Since no one's paying attention, I quietly turn around. But before I can move, I feel as though 1,000 grams have been dropped onto my shoulders. 1,000 grams, isn't that a kilo? That's not much. I can't move. This evil is... Caleb, please, I'm really just going out to buy some snacks. I'll be fine.
It's raining. And did you forget how you came back home injured? That was when you went out to buy snacks too. You should stay here.
It's also the gravity evil? The sound of footsteps stops behind me. A long shadow is
Don't
cast. Oh shit. The moment the voice speaks, my blood freezes. It's not because I'm scared. I heard this voice before. I know this voice.
Colonel, I'll immediately start an investigation into her identity.
There's no need.
No need.
I knew it.
I'll do it myself.
My mind goes blank. It's as if the noise around me has been filtered out. Caleb.
Caleb. Caleb.
Actually, maybe it's a bad thing if he finds us. Well, he did find us, but yeah. Oh, okay. I'm forced to sit in a chair used for questioning. Restraints emerge from it to secure my hands and feet. This is... Oh, the interrogation room on the fleet starship.
The Colonel will question you himself. Good luck.
After... That's weird. I'm dog sitting and the dog just like snuck past me as if she didn't want to be seen. She never does this. Anyway, after the door closes, a harsh incandescent light shines down from above. And another light behind the one-way glass window opposite of me turns on. I can only see a blurry figure.
I'll start asking the questions. Please cooperate.
The icy air in the interrogation room gnaws at my chest. I take a deep breath and try to calm down. Colonel, I'm a small fish. Why are you personally interrogating me?
You deceived the entire fleet with a fake identity. Can you really be called a small fish? Do you know what happens to people who pretend to be a fleet officer?
Despite figuring out who I am, you didn't attack me. Instead, you brought me to an interrogation room. Either I committed a more serious mistake than pretending to be an officer, or I have a secret that piques your interest. The light behind the glass wall flickers twice and the silhouette vanishes. He enters the room without missing a beat, his military boots touching the alloyed floor.
If you understand the situation, then let's go ahead and have a nice chat.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Is it really you? Okay.
Show some respect to the Farspace Fleet's colonel.
That means he's definitely part of that group. How can a stranger look so similar to Caleb? I can't believe it. Sir, have we met before? You seem familiar.
You're wrong.
But you look exactly like someone I know.
Watch your mouth. There's more than one pair of eyes observing you in this room.
Oh, so
The camera. If he really is Caleb, could there be a secret behind all this?
Is he
All
going
right.
undercover?
Smart move.
He can go under my covers.
Good. Let's get started then.
Oh my god, what
What is this?
An interrogation, of course, and a thorough inspection.
That's...
Once we're done here, I'll return it to you.
It belonged to someone from my childhood. He died in an explosion, like the one in the Cascade District. I miss him. Sir, can you tell me something? If that person hadn't died, would he support me even now?
In the Farspace Fleet, there are only soldiers and officers.
Then, what about you? Will you support me?
Do what you're told and don't cause any trouble. You won't get hurt then.
What's this?
It's a mood tracker. The cameras in this room will scan your iris and facial movements before sending the data straight through a terminal. That, along with the monitor's information, will be analyzed to gauge your emotional stability. In other words, there's a catch. You can't lie, no matter what.
You...
It's necessary. Be obedient and it'll be over before you know it. Did you pretend to be an officer just so you could investigate the Ether Core? Be honest.
What? He knows about the Ether Core, but... I don't know.
I told you before, you're not allowed to lie.
I didn't.
Recently, there was a large energy explosion in the N109 zone, related to an Ether Core. At that time, you disappeared without a trace and didn't check in with any organization, but you weren't punished upon your return. Our intel suggests you were in the N109 zone.
I don't understand.
Allow me to remind you that we are in Skyhaven. We're above the clouds, and even the World Evol government has to abide by the fleet. Your survival here, and your chance of being able to leave this place alive, depend on your honesty and willingness to follow my orders. I will ask again. Did you come to Skyhaven for the Ether Core?
Is he really Caleb?
Answer me. Remember, the camera is watching. You must tell the truth.
The camera. He's reminding me that there's surveillance, so I can't say anything. I'm telling the truth. I'm not related to anything involving an Ether Core.
This is your last chance.
I don't know anything.
You passed.
You...
Surprised? Sure, it's been a while, but you already forgot about me?
You... It's you, right? Caleb.
Is there another me in the world? Did I scare you?
It is you. Caleb. I must be dreaming.
It's me. It's okay. I'm back.
Oh wow.
Don't be afraid. It's all right. From now on, we'll be living together.
Does this mean we'll never be alone again?
Yes. Starting today, I'll be your grandma.
Grandma? In the empty void I see, everything is like a painting's white background that is seconds away from being drowned in a sea of color. There's one exception. The figure standing before me who's strikingly clear. Who are you again?
It's okay if you've forgotten. I'll remind you.
Oh, is this after like when we were 7, 8-ish and lost our memories? He holds my hand. With a radiant smile, his eyes gleam like sunlight.
I'm Caleb. I'll always be by your side.
My mind returns to the present. All I can see is a grayish-white globe with a metallic shield. Caleb sits opposite me. He reaches for a first aid kit as he holds my wrist, which has marks from the restraints earlier. Ugh, I'm drooling.
Most of the fleet's meds work immediately. It might sting. You need to tough it out.
His tender care is completely different from the cold, intimidating facade he wore in the interrogation room.
What's up?
What's up? I need to be sure that it's really you.
You still can't believe I'm back?
He gently holds my hand.
Do I need to do a formal introduction?
He meets my gaze and his voice softens as mirth appears in his eyes.
I'm Caleb. I'll always be by your side.
Those familiar words and kind voice are truly unique. I exhale, my racing heart finally calming down. You were scary in that interrogation room, but now... I shake my bandaged wrists and then slam my hand down on the bed next to Caleb. When he's about to stand up, I get in his way again. It's my turn to interrogate you. What happened after the explosion? The police and the Hunters Association has said.
I don't really remember. It was like a dream, to be honest. When I woke up, I assumed it was connected to the ether core.
So you already knew it?
I just knew. That's all.
You survived. Why didn't you contact me? And you're a colonel now?
Well...
He turns to look out the window. The night sky resembles a dark flowing river.
If I didn't join the fleet, I would have been abandoned.
I need to close the balcony door. Annoying sounds it might have picked up. Abandoned?
That's just how things work, Pipsqueak. So, I couldn't contact you. I can't bear to imagine you being put through that pain again.
Caleb isn't exactly interested in explaining, so I don't press him. What matters is that he's alive. How's Grandma? If you're here, she must be okay too?
I'm sorry. I couldn't protect both of you.
As Caleb's gaze loses some of its light, the faint hope in my heart breaks.
Alright, let's move on. You might start crying again if we don't. We finally reunited. If Gran knew, she'd want you to cheer up.
Caleb closes the first aid kit and stands up. He returns it to the cupboard.
After all that interrogating, shouldn't we relax? You've been running around all day and must be exhausted. Let's get something to eat.
I've been running all day.
Colonel, the captain of the 3rd Squadron would like to speak with you. He suggested solitary confinement for the traitor you captured.
Come back to me when the bauble around his neck grows a brain.
Caleb, you're being really strict.
Strict? Me?
His armband shines, maintaining his stern expression. Caleb returns to my side.
I haven't even disciplined you. And your cover's so good that you're living in the officer barracks?
He helps me off the bed. Cradling my injured wrist, he inspects my body from my shoulders down to my waist.
Pack up your stuff. You can stay at my place, you know. I don't live at HQ, so you'll have more freedom to move around.
Awesome. But I'm still a traitor to the fleet. It might be weird if I'm suddenly accompanying a colonel everywhere. He lowers my wrist and taps on the other one. Understanding his intentions, I turn around to let him check my back. It draws even more attention. Some people might even question your authority.
Hold on. Are you being considerate on behalf of your fellow fleet mates? Or do you actually want me to prove your guilt so you'll be locked up?
Once the inspection is done, Caleb moves over to face me.
Don't worry. If anyone dares to question your identity, tell them you're my new adjutant.
Oh, so you wanted me to use your influence anyway?
It's an order.
I don't take orders. He chuckles. Taking off his hat, he places it on my head.
The colonel's whereabouts are classified. The same goes for the people around him. If rumors could threaten me, I wouldn't be wearing this armband.
Caleb's personal aircraft carries us away from Skyhaven's main island, and we go to the surrounding guard stations. Golden sunlight traces the crystalline lines across the viewport. In the cramped cockpit built for two, I tell him everything that happened when we were separated for several months. The researchers being killed one after another, the documents Grandma left behind, and the ether core within me. Since Operation Ether Ordeal and the Spatium Core are confidential, I omit the details related to Association's investigation. Caleb, the one who's pulling the strings, is ever. Behind his goggles, Caleb's gaze is unreadable. He grips the control stick and expertly guides the plane through the clouds. I understand. Let me deal with it for now. 10 minutes later, the scenery projected from the starship's camera shifts to a floating, fragmented island. The starship slowly descends and passes through an invisible barrier surrounding the landmass. In front of us is a spacecraft-shaped building.
Here we are.
Yahoo! The white glow from the entrance's lamps disperses the darkness. The entire room is flooded with light. I hang my bag in the closet by the entrance before running my hand along the cabinet. Look at all this dust. Caleb, you didn't invite me over just so I could clean your house, right?
Psh, this place is usually empty, and I rarely stay here. Of course, it's not exactly pretty. Move.
Holding a few jackets he took from my luggage, he lightly nudges my foot.
Only the toiletries are left. Go ahead and sort out your stuff. Oh, actually, hold on a sec.
After tossing my jackets aside, he takes my finger and presses it on the door's lock.
How long are you staying in Skyhaven? If you're not in a rush, why not extend your leave for a few more weeks?
Hunters don't get summer or winter vacations. Captain Jenna let me take some time off, but it's not because I don't have anything better to do.
I almost forgot. You already graduated from Hunter School.
New fingerprint entry completed.
Why doesn't he have the robot arm?
Pick a bedroom you like.
I don't get it. How many how many does this place have if you're asking me to pick one? I follow Caleb into the living room. The house is spacious, nearly empty in fact. The decor is simple and consists of muted colors. It's devoid of life. Caleb, are you planning to live in Skyhaven?
Why do you ask?
Doesn't this mean we'll be separated again?
You don't want that to happen, right?
I'll be busy since I'm a hunter. I'm just giving you a heads up in case you'll miss me. After navigating through several doorways, I stumble upon a bedroom with comfortable lighting. I stop before it.
Yeah. Without our wanderer-chasing hunter, we'd all be doomed.
Caleb leans against the doorway and looks inside.
You like this room?
It seems cozy.
Okay then.
His lips curl into that familiar teasing smile as he heads towards the kitchen.
Think about what you want to eat for dinner, and your personal chef will make it.
I catch up to Caleb and jump. I wrap my arms around his neck and strangle him. No, I'm kidding. Make all your specialties. Braised pork, sweet and sour fish, pork chops.
Do you actually want to eat all that, or are you just naming all the menu items? You have quite the appetite.
Is he a good chef? With my weight on him, Caleb pivots before putting me down.
You don't need to help out. Just relax in the living room. Oh yeah, just so you know, that room you claimed is mine.
Eh? Wait, then you'll have to, huh? Okay. After dinner, Caleb insists on clearing the table himself. He tells me to rest and he'll get my bedroom ready soon. I hesitate for a moment before deciding to ask him about the explosion incident. Just as I reach the terrace, thunder roars from outside. The sound alone makes me jump. Maybe it's because we're closer to the sky here. Seeing Caleb's busy figure, I calm down a little. Caught by his gentle gaze, the words stick in my throat. I can only say a random sentence. I want a soda. Caleb steps aside, creating a path for me to get to the fridge. Do you want one? He doesn't decline, so I offer him a soda can.
You're gonna move your hand when I try to take it. I'm not falling for that again.
Stop acting like a baby. I'm done with those childish antics. Caleb reaches out, but I quickly move my wrist so the soda avoids his fingers. Haha, you... Before I can finish, the soda falls from my hand. Caleb effortlessly catches it.
Talk about immature.
We toast, our cans clinking against each other. Another roar of thunder startles me. However, I choke.
Still a scaredy cat?
Oh, I'm scaredy cat. Caleb can't help but chuckle. He pats my back and, as if recalling something, he looks out of the window into the night.
I thought you weren't afraid of it anymore.
What do you mean? Caleb sets down the soda and brings up a tablet that controls many of the house's utilities. The curtains are shut, which protects the room from the storm outside.
Remember your astrophobia from when you were little? Didn't you usually hide whenever thunder rolled in?
Maybe it was because thunder sounded too much like a wondrous roar. I was still terrified of it months after the coronal lift catastrophe that had ended. It's kind of like
At
a
first,
cat.
I thought you were playing hide and seek with me. But then I saw you were just frightened.
You always remember the minor details. But eventually I became immune to it.
And who should we thank for that?
I look up. With his eyebrows slightly raised, Caleb grins, and reflecting on those memories, I pretend to be clueless. We should thank my resilience.
You ungrateful pipsqueak.
Caleb teases me and pinches my nose. Chuckling at my reaction, he lets go. Of course, I remember that whenever there was a storm, regardless of whether it was during the day or at night, he always stayed by my side. I didn't dare to fall asleep, but Caleb always covered... The thunderstorms trapped him, the most popular kid on the block, inside the house, and so he had to seek refuge with me in various hiding places. No one else knew it was me that was trapped home, and Caleb was the one who broke that magical cage. Caleb, why were you always the first person to find me? It didn't matter whether I hid in the closet or the attic.
We probably have a telepathic connection.
You just got lucky every time.
Yeah, and? Doesn't matter if I'm lucky or not.
Sentimentally grazes my heart's surface. My hand that's resting on the fridge subconsciously twitches. Sentimentality heter det förresten. Why do I feel awkward all of a sudden? I mean, isn't telepathy usually something twins have? Like the ones who are involved in this incident? Thinking of those two that were affected by the explosion, my voice lowers. Over the next few days, there wasn't any progress in finding Kevi, and his sister Mia is still recovering. Caleb,
You still want to investigate?
Caleb has read my mind. I hesitate for a moment before nodding. Kevi is still missing, and I need to know if Ever is related to the explosion. If Ever is involved, there is a good chance I get important info that's connected to the Ether Core. Kevi might have already been marked as their target.
The fleet will handle it. And even if you doubt them, can't you trust me?
No, I mean, you died and then disappeared for months.
Since you're on vacation, why not just kick back and relax in Skyhaven?
But Caleb... His sister must be worried sick about him right now. She probably wants to be with Kevy again. I'm already your adjutant. Adjuma. Jag vet inte hur man uttalar det. Adjutant. I promise not to cause any trouble. If anything bad happens, I'll take full responsibility. Ouch! Something hits my head, but it's not a light tap or a smack. Caleb has a serious expression.
What are you even saying? I always have your back. Don't even think about drawing a line in the sand. Take care of yourself. Do that, and you can investigate whatever you want.
So, after everything draws to a close, can you come home with me?
I remember you saying you'd be fine by yourself. But it seems like you still want someone with you.
I'll worry about you if you're always separated.
Is that the only reason?
He shifts his gaze down and suddenly using a softer voice. The fridge door is slightly ajar and Caleb's hand rests on it. I'm seemingly trapped in this confined space. A cool breeze brushes against my shoulders. The faint glow from the refrigerator casts shadows in the depths of his determined, steadfast gaze.
Is it just because I said I'd always be by your side? I'm just messing around. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue?
Feeling the tension dissipate, I pretend to be annoyed as I push him away and change the topic. Move, it's so cold being in front of the fridge. If I get sick, it'll be your fault. Amused, Caleb willingly backs off.
All right. I'll keep my distance. It'll be like there's an ocean between us. You stick to your side, and I'll stick to mine. Don't worry, you won't have to remind me twice.
Caleb has returned to my side. I should be relieved, happy even, but I tossed and turned in bed that night. As I open my eyes, the bright morning light filters through the curtains. A warm glow is cast on the bedside. After staring at the dimly lit ceiling for what feels like an eternity, I wearily get up. The house is silent. It seems Caleb just left. My breakfast, still warm, is sitting on the dining table. I'd noticed a note tucked underneath it. Your highest priority is resting and enjoying your meal. Everything else comes second. I smile as I fold the note. When I sit down, I get a voice message.
Did you eat breakfast yet? I'll be sorting some things out with the fleet. I'll pick you up later.
I finished eating my breakfast while going over last night's plan in my head. Alright, it's time to visit that medical center. Willow Medical Center, inpatient department, inpatient department, 9th floor, room 903, Mia. Thanks to Caleb's support, I quickly find the place where Mia is recovering in. It's been said that Kevy and Mia are very close. She's the key to finding him.
I'm terribly sorry, Adjutant.
Adjutant.
The patient has just recovered from being in critical condition. Visits are prohibited unless her primary care physician authorizes it. This applies to fleet personnel as well.
Could I speak to the doctor then? The nurse looks me up and down. There's a hint of suspicion in her eyes.
Dr. Jones is busy with meetings with a visiting team of medical specialists. The earliest you can schedule an appointment with him is next week.
I understand. Mia is in a precarious situation right now, but with the hospital's strict security measures, her safety is guaranteed at least. I find myself walking to the elevator and my gaze falls on the directory sign. The administrative offices are on the 16th floor. If Dr. Jones is in a meeting, he might be on this floor. Ding! The elevator opens. While engaged in hushed conversations, several doctors step out. I guess I can only try my luck upstairs now. Just as I'm about to enter the elevator, a familiar voice cuts through my train of thoughts like a blade of frost. Zane? Yo! Zane! The figure wearing a white lab coat turns around. When our gazes meet, he adjusts his glasses. Surprise flickers in his eyes. Is this the confidential schedule you talked about 2 weeks ago? Don't worry, I'll experience memory loss once I'm back in Lincoln. At the vending machine, Zane gets himself a latte. He gives me a bottle of pear juice.
If I'm not mistaken, a few days ago you said the association ordered you to take leave. However, I didn't think a medical center in Skyhaven was a vacation spot.
Well... He slightly tilts his head back to sip his coffee and frowns because it isn't sweet enough. He scans the department signs on this floor.
You don't have to explain why you're here. It's obvious.
I sigh and give Zane a rundown. Vad händer nu? I figure I could talk to Mia and see if she knows anything about Kevi.
Mia is no longer in critical condition. She should be able to receive visitors.
Do you know Mia?
Her primary care physician used to be my colleague. He mentioned her during his visit. Since Mia was exposed to a metaflux explosion, I checked her heart to ensure she's all right.
How is she now?
Her physical recovery is going well, but she was badly shaken by the accident. Mia still displays signs of avoiding the outside world. But you talking to her might help ease her nerves.
Huh. If it's possible, I'd like to try. Zane taps the folder containing medical records, then he looks at me.
Give me a second. I'll ask. Dr. Jones, do you have a moment?
A few minutes pass, then Zane puts his phone away. Under my hopeful gaze, his expression softens as he nods.
Follow me. I'll check on Mia's condition first, and if she's all right, I'll ask her.
After receiving the visitation guidelines, I take a deep breath and follow him into the hospital room. In the pristine white room, a young girl around 10 years old sits on the bed. Her face is covered in bandages.
Mia, the nurse said you drank some milk today. That's good.
Mia turns her head without responding. With a blank stare, she looks out of the window. Zane crouches down by the bed. He gently touches Mia's elbow.
Since you listened to the doctor and the nurse, it doesn't hurt as much now?
The little girl slowly blinks, silently acknowledging Zane's words.
While waiting for the pain to go away, do you want a reward?
I wanna go home.
Her soft voice, tinged with sorrow, resounds in the quiet ward. My heart feels a faint pang, as if that voice reached out to me, urging me to move closer. However, I hesitate, unsure of how to start a conversation. I need to get my son to school, so hang on, I'll be out-ing the rest.
She's my friend. A skilled hunter who saved many children like you.
Huh?
Is he dead? But I always find him. I can't this time.
It seems the Colonel forgot to inform us. What brings you here, Adjutant?
Miss? Thank you for visiting me. Can I give you Lucia as a present?
Okay. Cool mist rises slowly from the lawn, leaving only a shadowy outline of the hospital wing's streamlined white architecture. Vilka svåra ord det var. I squeezed the dog plushie named Lucia. I'm genuinely puzzled about what Mia's intent is. Is this just a gift?
Have you made any progress?
I didn't really follow what happened because I wasn't here, but anyway. Zane sits down next to me. He gives me a cup that's filled with a drink. I don't know what it is though. Is this milk tea, a health drink, or a fruit slushie?
Warm water.
He calmly looks over before lowering his head. Then he gently squeezes the dog plushie's cheek. As usual, he delivers his dry humor with a straight face.
Furrowed brows, pursed lips, and a scrunched up face. All symptoms of severe dehydration.
There's no way my face is. I quickly relax my expression, but my brows furrow again upon seeing Lucia.
Mia clung to this plushie from the site of the explosion to the medical center. Now it's with you. What did she say?
I said I help her find her brother.
Kevi?
Zane pauses, his thoughts drifting for a moment before he shifts slightly. His tone becomes more solemn.
Something or someone must be behind his disappearance. However, by getting involved, you'll have to confront people who are also searching for him.
I know. While the Far Space fleet dealt with the culprit behind the explosion, the whole thing feels too similar to what happened to me. I'm not sure, but Ever must be involved somehow. I actually think so too. Kevin must have something thereafter, or there's a secret they're desperately trying to keep hidden.
The closer you are to the truth, the closer you are to danger. If you truly thought this through.
Once they make their move, there will be a second time, and then a third. I can't just stand there and watch the same tragedy repeat itself with these two.
Aside from Ever, there's another curious matter. I studied in Skyhaven and worked at Willow Medical Center for a while. As a result, I'm familiar with the general atmosphere of this place. But I've noticed how different it is from what I remember.
What are you trying to say?
The fleet. Back then, the fleet wielded a considerable amount of influence beneath a modest facade. They spent most of their time carrying out exploration missions in the Deepspace tunnel. A majority of the people who worked here for 7 to 8 years had never seen what their vessels looked like. This sort of large-scale operation where their forces have been deployed on the ground is unprecedented.
Yeah, it is strange. It's also something that wouldn't be noticeable unless you lived in Sky Heaven for several years. Captain Jenna mentioned this before I left Lincoln. The fleet's response to the explosion is different from what they've done in the past. I'll keep a close eye on the situation, but for now, I need to find Kevy as soon as possible. He's been missing for a while now and could be in danger. Zane nods and looks up at the dark clouds in the sky.
Did you find any leads?
It's been a week since the explosion. The fleet must have searched through every nook and cranny of the explosion site and the surrounding area. If they can't find him, Kevin must have either been taken away by someone or hiding in an even more secluded place. While the latter seems unlikely, I look at Lucia's big wide eyes. Did Mia give me a clue?
Let me take a look.
I give Lucia to Zane. He scrutinizes it for a moment before tugging its charred tail. There's a burst of static before a voice crackles from the plushie.
Where are you hiding? I'm done playing!
Mia, you're so silly. I'm in our secret base.
But we said not to hide in the secret base. You're cheating!
Noticing my surprised gaze, Zane places Lucia back onto my lap and strokes its head.
I've seen similar toys with sick children.
I knew it was a smart move to turn to a doctor. I carefully pull Lucia's tail and listen to the conversation again. Then I realize something. Maybe Kevin hasn't been taken away, he might be hiding. Is this secret base his hiding place? I turn back to look at Zane and speak.
Don't. I'm tired of hearing that.
When we're back in Lincoln, I'll buy you the latest item on Maltosia's dessert menu. I suddenly recall how Zane had taken several consecutive days off after returning from Chansha. It's something he rarely does. You've already used up some of your vacation time. Will you be busy later? I can get the dessert to go and give it to you at the hospital instead.
This is the first time I've heard of someone inviting another out for dinner by using a complaint.
I'm afraid I'll bother you when you're busy. Zane slowly leans back, studies me for a moment, and then reaches for the cup of warm water. His expression remains indiscernible.
I suppose what you need isn't water, but something that's more than lukewarm.
What do you mean? Noticing my confusion, Zane slightly tilts his head and responds with a smile that carries amusement and resignation.
We both have to deal with challenges, one after another. If we want to see each other, then there will be moments like this where we can sit together, no matter how hectic things get.
He lifts Lucia's head and the plushie stares at me with his dewy black eyes.
Once you help Mia, take some time to think about what you'd like to eat with me.
Following the explosion, the Farspace fleet uses Wanderers as their reason for sealing off the area and evacuating all residents within a 2-kilometer radius. Maybe the week-long search has led them to believe Kevy is no longer in this neighborhood. No fleet soldiers are stationed here tonight. The charred ground reveals several sets of footprints, all disorderly. Many have passed through this place. Kevin? As I enter the backyard, I see his cord swing and the slide has been reduced to a metal frame. I pause before carefully tugging Lucia's tail. If Kevin is still around, he might hear this. After a few minutes, I notice faint sobbing. Suddenly, a familiar energy fluctuation ripples through the air. Behind the shrub, a tear in reality, around 1/2 meter wide, materializes. A timid little boy emerges. He's hesitating. Realizing I'm not his sister, he tries to run away, but I quickly call out to him. Wait, Mia sent me. The boy freezes. He turns around, but his head is still lowered. He's unwilling to meet my gaze.
You shouldn't come any closer. Don't look at my face. Have I become a monster?
Granulated crystals seem to be growing around his eye sockets, almost engulfing his whole face. A few months ago, I saw this sort of phenomenon in the N109 zone with those monsters and in Changsha City. Maintaining my composure, I touch the crystals on his face. A sharp pain shoots through my palm, but the growth stops. Just as I thought. I've seen this before. You're not a monster. You're just ill and need to get treated as soon as possible. She's recovering in the medical center, and after the surgery was over, there haven't been any problems. I take Kevy's hand and wipe away his tears. Right now, she's worried about you, Kevy. She's worried about you. Kevy, can you tell me what happened on the day of the explosion? How did you manage to stay hidden? The secret base you have with Mia? Comforted by my words, he stops sobbing. Slowly, he withdraws his hand and reveals something to me. In the center of his palm is a tiny crystal fragment. This is... A familiar energy reverberates in my heart and I slowly exhale. It's the latest spatium core fragment we've been looking for.
When the explosion happened, Mia and I were playing hide and seek. I was in our secret base while she was outside. She couldn't find me. I was hiding for a couple of minutes. Then I heard a loud bang and blacked out. I was protected by this thing that Mom and Dad left.
Kevy looks down at his palm. The protocore fragment emits a gentle, soft glow. Your parents left this?
Yeah. They also said I need to take care of Mia. And that I shouldn't be found and use this to hide whenever I'm in danger.
So, this fragment can create a space, the secret base you and Mia talked about? Lowering his head, he nods.
After the explosion, I slept for a long time. And when I woke up, I wanted to find Mia, but there were people outside looking for me.
Who were they?
I don't know, but they were dressed like Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad said that when they're not around, I shouldn't trust those people or go with them. I can't trust anyone.
This must mean Kevy's parents knew there were people in the fleet who wanted to harm them. I bet other groups are also involved. At this point, letting the fleet find Kevy might not be for the best. I touch the black crystals on Kevy's face. He slightly flinches from the pain. But even if we only consider his health, Kevy can't stay here anymore. Maybe having him leave Skyhaven temporarily is the only way to ensure his safety right now. In that case, the Hunters Association, which has been kept out of these events since the beginning, will be a reliable safe haven. I know you're in danger and that you really want to see Mia now. But you need to keep this fragment safe and hold on for one more day. I'll make the necessary arrangements and return to you as soon as I can. Kevy is quiet for a moment, then he pats Lucia's head and nods.
Can you tell Mia something for me? I'm okay. Tell her not to worry.
After leaving the area that's under lockdown, I call Zane. Zane!
Don't rush. Speak slowly. Did you find Kevy?
When his voice comes through the phone, it's almost as if a warm hand is soothing my troubled mind. Yes, he has a spatium core fragment. He's been using its power to hide himself. He's also infected with something that involves those black crystals, but his condition seems slightly better than what we saw in the patient at Chansha Hospital. In Chansha Hospital, Zane and I arrived at a preliminary conclusion. The ether core's power doesn't cause transformations like this. Someone is responsible for creating this crystal-related disease. And assuming that's the case, they're deliberately turning people into monsters. After I revealed this conclusion, we never really discussed before. The other end of the line is silent for a few minutes.
A few years ago, I witnessed something similar. That person was my friend.
Recalling my conversation with Zane in the Arctic, I guess forms in my mind. Was it the one who died in Mount Eternal? It couldn't be because...
Yes. After that incident, we learned that under extremely special circumstances, when Wanderers strike, their attacks cause energy crystals to grow in the afflicted area. They corrode the human body and grow a sort of shell over it. Once that happens, the victims can lose their sanity within seconds and uncontrollably lash out at anyone around them.
Some of the vague relationships between a few things become clearer. Zane's secret research, the small animals at Dr. Noah's home. Your research with Dr. Noah in the Arctic involves this, right?
It does. Based on your description, Kevy's transformation hasn't truly started. But it's hard to say if we should delay our attempts to treat it.
I have a feeling that if he stays in Skyhaven, something unpredictable and grave will happen.
I'll find a way to transfer him to Oxo Hospital and ask Dr. Noah to come back.
I was just about to ask about that. When can you pick up Kevy?
The hospital can't reach his guardians, which could be a problem. I'll have everything arranged by tomorrow night at the latest.
Then I'll bring Kevy to you at that time.
There's one more thing. A necessary reminder, so to speak.
He pauses before lowering his voice.
Since Kevy has an ether core fragment, it's possible Ever will keep looking for him. When caring for others, you must be mindful of your own safety.
Sure. Before coming here, I thought I had grown stronger. I thought I'd be capable enough to handle the challenges that awaited me. But I didn't expect them to become even more difficult. Fortunately, I've never had to face them alone.
Perhaps I'm also doing this for myself.
After the call ends, my beating heart finally begins to calm down. I look up at the moonlight hidden behind the dark clouds. The night is still, with no wind or rain, and the stars shine brightly. I suddenly wonder, is Zane also looking at the same night sky right now? The lieutenant's appearance at the medical center today means the fleet is keeping Mia under close surveillance. I need to avoid them if I want to bring Kevy there. Which means I need to keep this from Caleb somehow. During my trip back to the station on the floating island, the previously peaceful sky suddenly becomes dark and gloomy. Thunder roars in the distance. It might start raining again. My phone has several unread texts from Caleb. Where are you when we get back? I'm at the supermarket. What do you want to eat for dinner tonight? Caleb poked you. As I scroll through them, the fact that Caleb is truly back sinks in.
Everyone's on edge because of the explosion in the Cascade District.
The Deepspace tunnel's been acting up again, and more Wanderers are showing up in Skyhaven.
I'm so tired. I send over my location's coordinates and then it starts to drizzle. I join the crowd under the overpass. The atmosphere grows heavy with an eerie chill. A figure clad in black, half their face concealed by a high collar, appears. Their greenish-grey hair is loosely tied.
Excuse me?
Eh? But they don't move. Something's off, so I move to the side. Can I help you?
Yeah, you can.
All of a sudden, there's a small explosion nearby. The scorching heat throws me back a few meters.
It's a wonder!
Run!
I steady myself, covering my nose and mouth with one hand and waving away the smoke with the other. The stranger is still there. He pulls down his collar to reveal his face. With a forked tongue and white slit pupils, he grins mysteriously as if knowing this would happen.
Has anyone warned you that a unique hunter like yourself could get into some real trouble around these parts?
He moves like a grayish-green serpent. His fingers change into blades as they swipe past my cheek. I barely manage to sidestep him. He attacks again, aiming for my throat this time. He's tough and quick. I instinctively lean back and narrowly avoid the silver blades. I pistol whip him, the gun landing a decisive blow on his head. Hearing that satisfying sound, I know I did a good job. I turn around. From the broken remains, wires and metal bits burst out along a bunch of tiny bolts.
You're annoying. I can't hear anything now.
The man touches the broken part of his ear before tossing the short-circuiting implant into the drain.
If I take the ether core from you, I can trade it in for an ear with some nice bass. But...
The scattered electrical equipment is sucked into a metaflux surge as it spawns several strange-looking wanderers.
Oh well, let them have some fun.
Is this some kind of transformation? My hand moves behind my waist. Amidst the dirt and rain, a bright red flash materializes. A wanderer that has lunged forward is sent flying back several meters. What attack it was. Caleb. An apple, really? Having found its mark, the apple continues on its gravity-defying trajectory. I turn my head. Cradling his phone between his ear and shoulder, Caleb grabs an apple from the paper bag he's holding. He throws it up and catches it in his right hand.
The supermarket wasn't having a sale on produce today, and my bullets aren't exactly cheap.
Caleb! Shoo! I raise my gun and swiftly position myself beside him. I keep an eye on the wanderers approaching us.
This isn't a game. I won't let you charge in alone.
Don't underestimate me. I can pull my weight in a battle just like you now.
This is too easy. Requesting full suppression gunfire.
Roger.
Time to change our strategy. It's only got half its health left. You want to do a competition?
Of course. Watch me. My turn. I'll show you. I've locked onto the target.
Copy that.
It was just a scratch.
It can't hold on for much longer.
Let's see who can land the finishing blow.
Here's a change in tactics. Stay cool. Requesting full suppression gunfire.
Roger.
Now's our chance to strike. Time to change our strategy. Sometimes I wish you'd let me be your shield.
Pay attention. I'll show you.
Requesting full suppression gunfire.
Roger.
Now's our chance to strike.
Caleb.
Coming. Time to show them. Target is within range. Commence encirclement.
Let's end this together.
Focus fire.
My turn.
Let's see you dodge this.
I was just careless. Eat this.
How would you rate our teamwork?
100%.
Nice. Bang! The last wanderer is flattened by an unseen force and scatters debris in all directions. Caleb! Muddy water is everywhere, but Caleb seems unfazed as he brushes aside the damp strands of my hair.
Are you hurt?
I'm good, but that person is getting away. Caleb holds out his hand, his fingers slightly extended. A barrage of stone shards chase after the fleeing figure cloaked in a dark grayish green.
Eat some fruit. I'll be right back.
A paper bag lands in my hands. Before I can respond, Caleb rolls over the railing and disappears into the night. How did Caleb get here so quickly?
Perfect vessel, my ass. It doesn't even look as good as us unfinished products. Damn it!
Sharp shards pierce through half of Viper's face, and before he can even cry out in anger, a kick knocks the wind out of him. A powerful force slams him into the ground, which instantly destroys the other half of his face.
I see it's shedding season again, Viper.
You bastard! I'll kill you!
Caleb increases the weight. Immediately, the crisp sound of something cracking reverberates. Those invisible restraints are like iron that even makes Viper's knees creak. Ugh.
Stop it!
A white prosthetic eye flows into Caleb's hand and is crushed in an instant.
Who gave you the right to approach her?
The professor said it's not time to go after her yet. I was just playing around with her.
It feels as if a swamp is slowly squeezing the air out of his lungs, making it difficult to breathe.
There are less than 72 hours before the final cleanup. I'm just reminding you that. If you can't retrieve the protocore fragments, you're done for.
Which hand did you touch her with? This one?
He's unfazed by the threat. Click. Viper's left hand is twisted and he almost passes out from the pain.
You need to protect her. It's a bit much. Wouldn't you say your overprotectiveness borders obsession?
Raindrops are suddenly suspended in the air. They're like countless silver needles that are ready to pierce him at any moment. He can't even laugh. Caleb crouches down, meeting Viper's gaze. He slightly smiles.
Lay a hand on her again, and I will kill you.
Unable to find Caleb, I have no choice but to retreat to the overpass. The soaked part of the paper bag I'm holding leaves a chaotic pattern on my hand. It almost resembles a winding labyrinth. That person knew I had an ether core. Is he an assassin sent by Ever? But he wasn't planning to kill me. It seemed like he was testing his prey.
Why are you standing here in the rain?
An umbrella shields me as Caleb reappears. He frowns as he wipes away the water from my face. Caleb, are you okay?
I'm fine, but I lost track of him.
Oh, having checked Caleb's hand over and over again, my anxiety only dissipates when I confirm he's unharmed. It's okay, I got some of the parts he dropped. I'll take them back to the data analysis. Hopefully there will be something to learn.
We'll talk about it later. Let's go home.
He takes off his coat and drapes it over my head. With his arm around my shoulders, his warmth quickly envelops me.
Give me a heads up next time you go out. I can't help but worry about you when you're all alone.
Upon returning home, Caleb ushers me into the bathroom. I'm wrapped in the hot water's warmth. After getting out of the shower, I put on soft loungewear. The rain's chills having faded away. In the living room, I scan the parts and upload the data to my watch. A steaming bowl of ginger soup appears on the coffee table.
You didn't dry your hair. Again.
Freshened up, Caleb brings over a towel. He sits down on the couch and pats the spot next to him.
Come here.
I comply and hold the bowl of soup while Caleb towel dries my hair. It's very soothing, and I can't help but narrow my eyes. It's been a while since I received your service like this.
Oh, so you know it's a service. And that's why you always plop onto the bed to play with your phone while your hair's still wet.
It's because I know you'll help me.
Okay, Pipsqueak.
Through the towel, something taps my head. It's not too gentle or too rough. Though, don't you think you've gotten better at drying hair?
Have I? I moved out to live in the college dorms. Then I moved again for the DAA after graduating. Looking back, it's been forever since I was really home. That means it's also been a long time since I helped you dry your hair.
He tilts my chin before using his fingers to comb through the disheveled strands. There's no rush. We have more than enough time together.
Yep.
With a promise made, a new thought crosses my mind. What about the Deepspace Aviation Administration? Do they know you joined the Far Space Fleet? What about your comrade in arms?
They don't know. And they won't. It wouldn't be smart to have too many people in on this. They aren't required to know everything about me anyway.
My phone screen suddenly lights up. I see a news alert about the explosion in Cascade District. Ah, right, Kevy. He removes the towel from my head and walks to the bedroom.
I'll grab the hairdryer. Give me a sec.
Wait. Aware of the warning Kevy's parents gave and the fleet's close surveillance of the siblings, I realize things are in a more sinister light. Is it possible Caleb knows something about this? He stops in his tracks and turns to look at me, yet the question I want to ask is stuck in my throat. My words are impossible to voice. This is Caleb we're talking about. Regardless of the situation, I can't doubt him unless I have a good reason to. Besides, he can read me like a book. If I can't get information from him and he sees right through me, what happens after won't be good. It's nothing. I just wanted to tell you to hurry up. My hair is going to air dry at this rate. Caleb leans down and his fingers brush against my temple. Some of the water trickles down my face.
Considering how your hair is still dripping, yeah, I should be quick about it. Maybe I'll cook some kanji first.
As I watch Caleb walk away, a sense of guilt creeps over me like an evening mist. When I wake up the next day, my head feels foggy and my throat is itchy. Maybe it's because I got caught in the rain yesterday. What are these for? As soon as I enter the living room, I stop in my tracks. Boxes of various sizes that weren't there before are now here. Caleb rolls up his sleeves. He sits down on the floor and pieces something together from the scattered parts around him.
This place has been empty for too long, so I bought some stuff. Take a look. Do you need anything else?
It's okay. I'll only be staying here for a few days. Anyway, I need to go.
Why? You don't plan to visit me anymore?
No, of course not. I rub my stuffy nose. Content, Caleb smiles, wipes his hands, and gives the assembled robot a pat on the head.
Hello, Master.
Master. The little robot's screen forms a smile as its movements produce a series of clink-clanks.
When you're on the bed and glued to your phone, it can bring you snacks and drinks.
Sure. The warmth in Caleb's smile makes me feel even more guilty. I'm sorry, if the fleet is just trying to protect Kevy, then I'll make it up to you once he's safe, I promise. I sit next to him and attempt to mask my nervousness with a pleading look. Caleb, I agreed to have dinner and watch a movie with some classmates in Skyhaven tonight. Can you give me a ride? It's not that far. You can take me there since your plane can just zoom. Kevy agreed to meet at midnight, but after careful consideration, I decided to head out early to avoid any problems. I made that suggestion to Caleb so he wouldn't overthink things.
You shouldn't go out. I can tell you're coming down with a cold based on your voice alone. Focus on resting today, so you can recover.
Caleb opens another box and busies himself again.
There's a weird energy fluctuation in the Deepspace tunnel. All the Wanderers in Skyhaven are riled up because of it. To ensure everyone's safe, Skyhaven will be under lockdown tonight. We'll be doing a cleanup.
Isn't eliminating Wanderers supposed to be a hunter's job? What kind of threat could possibly warrant a large-scale response from the fleet?
Doesn't matter. Since the fleet is in charge of Skyhaven, safety is our highest priority.
He pauses and looks up.
I won't be around tonight, so don't even think about going out. Got it?
But this isn't good. I need to get Kevy out of there. What if I have an emergency and need to go out?
You can't.
This is important to me. Caleb, it'll only be a few minutes at best.
Except nothing's more important than your safety.
He gives me a warm smile and rests his hand on my head.
Please, stay here. I can't do any more than this.
He responds with a smile. It's the same one I've always seen, but his gaze is a little too cheerful. He's hiding something. Caleb, be honest with me. Is the cleanup tonight related to the explosion?
You're overthinking it.
He looks away and pretends to study the sketch. I grab his chin, forcing him to look at me. You're lying.
What about you, then?
He calmly grabs my right hand and reveals the gun I had put on my waist.
Why do you need a gun at a friendly get-together?
That's because I'm worried about encountering a wanderer. His grip on my wrist tightens.
Don't forget about the ether core in your body. You're not a normal hunter. And the whole explosion incident is complicated. One wrong move, and you'll be trapped here forever.
The fleet isn't just here to investigate the explosion, right? Are you hiding something? In the tense silence, the small Otto is oblivious as it continues making noise. After what seems like an eternity, he suddenly lets go.
Sorry. Do you remember what I said? Leave it to me. I won't break my promise to you.
My lips tighten into a thin line, and the increase in body temperature that I've been fighting hits me. I slowly lean back and sink into the sofa.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have upset you.
Caleb kneels. He takes my wrist that he had grasped earlier and massages it with his thumb.
But tonight's operation isn't just a normal patrol. You're unaware of the dangers here.
His earnest gaze follows mine when I try to look away. For some reason, this version of Caleb feels like a stranger. Do you really mean it?
Cross my heart.
And hope to die. You made a promise to me. Don't forget about it. As the day draws to a close, I still haven't found an opportunity to leave. I hope the round-the-clock shuttle service won't be affected by the cleanup. Only when my phone gives me a no-service message do I realize how thorough Skyhaven's lockdown is. Outside, darkness cloaks the scenery with the trees' shadows. When it's 11 p.m., I hear the faint creak of a door opening outside. After silently counting to 30, I quietly get out of bed and go to the living room. No one's here. Only a single wall lamp illuminates the room, and the furniture's shadows of plaster on the house's white walls. I let out a sigh of relief and try to find my gun that Caleb put away.
Looking for something?
Fuck. Caleb, you're still here. Caleb stands behind me, his arms crossed. The light casts irregular patterns on the floor.
I was about to leave.
Go ahead, I'm getting something to drink. A cup that's filled with water floats over to my side along with 2 white pills.
You were coughing a lot during the day. Did you catch a cold because of yesterday's rain?
It's just a small cough.
Take some meds before you go back to sleep.
His gaze is calm and gentle, showing no signs of discontent. It's as if my pitiful life fooled him. Okay, it's probably sleeping pills. I won't let him worry about me tonight at least. I put the pills in my mouth and wash it down with the water. I have emptied the cup in one go. The ticking of the clock's second hand echoes in the dimly lit room, emphasizing the silence between us and our mingling breaths. Without thinking, I avoid his gaze. I hesitate for a moment before heading back to the bedroom. Good night.
Good night. Hey. If I kept you here with me like this, would you think I'm being too selfish? it's only us now. Let's say I had noticed these threats that were lurking around you earlier. Knowing then what I know now, none of this would have happened, right? Don't worry. This nightmare will come to an end. I promise.
We'll depart when you're ready. It's your turn.
No problem.
It is weak. Now's our chance. Victory is within reach. I'm impressed by your skills.
Me too. Everything went well.
Well, that was easy.
Perhaps this is a trial. Well done. Be ready for its next move. Proceed with caution. It's minor.
I'll show you.
Threats are only temporary.
Melting like snowflakes.
Perhaps this is a trial. Make sure to dodge the attacks. Victory is within reach. Keep your tempo.
Eat this.
It is falling apart. Threats are only temporary.
Melting like snowflakes.
Why are you staring off into space? Mission's over. But hide the blood on your sleeve before heading inside. Since you're a grown-up now, I won't cover for you this time.
No, stay where you are. Caleb! I opened my eyes only to be greeted by warm sunlight on my face. It casts a dazzling hazy halo. As my vision slowly clears, all I see is the snow-white ceiling above. It was all just a dream. I sigh, rubbing my pounding temples. I feel drained, my body heavy. Last night I was supposed to act like I was sleeping, but somehow I got dizzy and actually slept. Random thoughts raced through my mind and I grabbed my phone. The screen shows I had missed many calls. All of them are from Zane.
The hospital can't reach his guardians, which could be a problem. I'll have everything arranged by tomorrow night at the latest.
Then I'll bring Kevy to you at that time. Oh no, Kevy! I dial his number, but the call never connects. I put on my slippers and rush to the door while texting Zane. As I open the door, a barrage of loud news alerts burst forth. As morning sunlight casts a gentle glow on the floor. I change and run into the living room, only to smack right into a solid chest.
You're awake.
Caleb's emerged from the bathroom. Steam is still coming off his body. I hold my phone a step back, meeting his surprised gaze. I feel my heart pounding in my chest. When did you get back?
Around the crack of dawn.
He casually dries his hair with a towel and walks to the dining table. He grabs a piece of toast.
Why are you in a rush to leave?
I come to my senses, scrambling for a decent excuse. Oh, something came up. I won't be back in time for lunch.
You need a ride?
No, I'll be back before the sun sets. Fuck. I freeze, staring somewhat incredulously at the screen in the middle of the living room. That missing kid has been found?
Yep.
He takes a bite of his toast as he approaches me. He places one hand on the back of the couch, his eyes looking over the news.
During last night's operation, they found him in a small garden, not far from the blockade. Oh, and he was holding a fragment of what appeared to be an ether core. He's okay, and the fleet's currently holding onto that shard. If you're really worried, I'll keep a closer eye on his medical updates for you.
I see. Technically speaking, I should have felt relieved that Caleb found him. But there's this weird tension in the air, still weighing down on my heart like a dark cloud. Once Kevy's condition stabilizes, they should allow visitors, right? I want to see him.
Sure thing, Pipsqueak. But why the long face?
Caleb used to be against me getting involved in anything related to the explosion, yet he's suddenly cool with it. If this whole thing really was just an accident, a series of coincidences, then I should feel okay about it. I'm worried about him. The question I still want to ask remains in my mouth. I take a deep breath to calm myself and notice the faint scent of something metallic. Almost drowned out by the fragrance of his shower gel, it reminds me of blood. I grab his hand. Did you get into a fight during last night's cleanup? Are you hurt anywhere?
I'm A-okay.
I thoroughly check his hands to ensure there are no injuries.
Really, I'm fine. But...
All of a sudden, a cold hand touches my forehead.
Looks like your fever's gone.
I had a fever?
Yeah. As soon as I got back, I heard you calling out to me in your sleep. So I figured I'd make sure you were doing okay. Was it a nightmare or something?
It's nothing. Maybe it's because I've been pushing myself too hard lately, or maybe it was the nightmare from this morning. Either way, I feel anxious. I glance at Caleb, who's grabbing a jacket. He nudges my shoulder to direct me elsewhere.
Why don't you wash up first? I didn't get a chance to take you somewhere yesterday. Do you want to go out today?
I hesitate, and before I can nod, his phone vibrates.
It's me. What happened? What's going on?
The voice on the other end of the call wipes the smile off Caleb's face. His brows furrow.
All right.
What's wrong?
Mia passed away.
What? In that moment, silence extends and wraps around my ears. Sunlight hits the ground, but its chill creeps up like vines and steals my breath. According to the documents I read, Mia went into septic shock because of her burns. They couldn't save her. Zane examined Mia's emergency treatment records, which perfectly matched the fleet's public statement. The medical records are too thorough. It's almost as if they were hiding something. Besides, no one actually witnessed Mia's death. After the academic conference ended, Zane retrieved a classified file and departed with the medical team. He took these mysteries with him. And once he confirmed my safety, he didn't ask any more questions. As for Kevy, whoever went to such lengths to find him clearly wants him alive, for now at least. Don't be too hard on yourself. But the story doesn't end there. The remains of the siblings' parents were found aboard the small vessel Joseph had taken, which further proves his involvement. The Farspace fleet stepped in to address public concerns and quickly arranged an adoptive family for Kevy. Everything progressed at an unnaturally rapid pace. The flawed response is too perfect. Flawless. It was like watching a chess game where every move had been planned in advance.
Is the explosion incident a result of the fleet's negligence?
Has the fleet taken any steps to reflect on its actions? With the full-scale lockdown fast approaching, are there any new protocols in place?
Beyond the barricade tape, reporters and photographers with cameras of all sizes scattered together. Yet it's eerily calm in front of Mia's grave. When the funeral ends, the crowd disappears. Disperses. Kevy stands alone by the tombstone, fiddling with a black armband that continues to slide down. His face is smooth and boyish. There are neither crystals nor grief. Kevy, are you okay?
Miss?
He looks up at me, studying my expression before revealing a smile.
Yeah, the professor has been very nice. I'm moving to a new place soon.
The professor? Is he the one who adopted Kevy? I'm sorry, I planned to show up last night, but if I had found you sooner...
It's okay. The fleet found me in the end.
He speaks before I can continue, his expression almost devoid of emotion. He's composed. But I thought you said you didn't want to go with the fleet. Something's still off. Kevin managed to avoid being detected even when they did thorough searches. The fleet didn't find him right until...
Don't worry, miss. I'll be okay in my new home. I'll miss my sister.
He speaks as if he's stating a fact, and why would a person be sad about something that already became a fact? It's as if I'm being the one who's not quite ready to face reality yet. I push down the sadness bubbling inside me and give him Lucia, who's been cleaned. Here's the plushie Mia left behind. It should stay with its owner. Kevin frowns. He glances at the photo on the tombstone, surrounded by flowers and toys, as if trying to figure out who the person is.
I don't like toys. But because it's from you, I'll take it.
The confusion in his eyes only lasts a moment. When he looks up again, he has that serene smile on his face. After Kevin heads off with his new family, I stay where I am, and then I hear a familiar voice behind me. Caleb tips his hat and sets down a fresh bouquet by Mia's grave.
I'm sorry. Some fleet business got in the way.
It's okay. As your adjutant, it's normal for me to represent you when needed. For a long time we stand there, silently observing the bright smile on the tombstone.
How's Kevy doing?
He's doing almost too great to be true.
Maybe the kid's just putting up a front. So, he hasn't really come to terms with his family and sister being gone from this world.
That can't be right. The doubt echoing in my mind almost escapes my lips. I slowly close my eyes and calm down. In less than 2 days, Kevy's condition completely changed from what I saw that night. This must be the fleet's doing. It seems an unseen force pushed for the rapid completion of Mia's funeral and Kevy's adoption. Does this mean Caleb knows what's really going on? Many adults struggle with tragedies such as these. I can only imagine what it's like for a child. Picking up on what I'm saying, Caleb gives my shoulders a comforting squeeze. He looks like he wants to say more, but he just lowers his head. There's a bit of sadness in his eyes.
Don't be too disheartened.
Okay. Ever since the explosion, everything has been wrapped up too well. The wind pushes one of the toys near the tombstone. It rolls and stops at my feet. Caleb bends down to pick it up. He dusts it off, and his insignia gleams silver under the dim light. I play with the hem of my shirt and hold back the questions itching to escape my mouth. I've known Caleb for a long time. I shouldn't doubt him without any evidence.
Let's go. We can relax somewhere else.
Colonel?
The communication device on Caleb's wrist vibrates. He grimaces.
What is it?
There's a large group of reporters outside. They're making a scene.
I'll see what's going on.
Yes, Colonel.
Go ahead. I want to spend some more time with Mia.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Caleb? Just as he's about to leave, I stop him. I want to ask something. I look into that familiar gaze, letting go of the hem I've been clutching. I smile at him. No matter what happens, I can always trust you, right?
Of course.
He moves his arm, seemingly about to ruffle my hair, yet he stops and instead pats my shoulder. He doesn't want the dirt on his hand to get in my hair.
Wait for me.
As more people leave, the cemetery quiets down. I go for a stroll, walking along a gravel path. I'm closer to the exit. But the questions I couldn't bring myself to ask keep flooding my mind. If the Farspace fleet were the ones who caused the explosion, what could their motive be? How much does Caleb actually know? Is there some untold story to how he became part of the Farspace fleet? Is it related to the ether core fragment? Is that why the fleet was desperate to get their hands on Kevy? But if it was just about the ether core fragment, they wouldn't have rescued him, unless...
Unless the kid has something more valuable.
A cool breeze interrupts my thoughts. I turn around and see a dark figure behind me. He leans against a tombstone, his tongue darting in and out like a snake. Cracks and blotches decorate his face.
In this world, a lot of people want an ether core, but only a select few can handle its power without being devoured. And finding individuals like that is incredibly rare.
It's you again.
You're not even pretending to be surprised.
Why are you here?
To kill you, obviously.
How lame. Ignoring his bluff, I pull back my gun. Who are you? Are you one of Ever's assassins or just someone who is interested in the ether core?
You managed to avoid the correct answer.
He smirks, his expression showing no signs of being amiable. He holds out his hand to
Let me introduce myself properly. I'm Caleb's friend. You can call me Viper.
Seeing how I don't react, he shrugs and takes back his hand. Are you implying that what happened to Kevy was caused by his ability to use an ether core?
Don't be too suspicious. Though, seeing you be manipulated like this is annoying. I'm here to lend a hand. Don't you want to know what the fleet and Caleb are really up to?
What makes you think I'll believe you? When I express my doubt, he's caught off guard.
Fair point.
While we're talking, the faint hum of a car drifts from the cemetery and extends over the wall. I look in its direction. The rear window slowly goes down. Kevy waves at me, an iron fence between us. I can't discern who the person next to him is. It's probably his new guardian.
What a lucky kid. Saved from the fate of being a normal person. It's better to dance to the tune of the strong than live a plain life. A pawn is still a pawn, but they have a chance to survive to the end of a large chess game.
What have you done to him?
Finally, you're asking the right questions.
A hint of mockery flicks in those grey eyes that are fixed on me.
Don't you care about him? Go and see for yourself.
Without realizing it, I catch a small shiny object that was hurtling toward me. I open my palm and see a uniquely shaped disc.
Tomorrow afternoon, Shell 7, 93rd Azure Way Road. See you later.
That figure sways with the wind before instantly vanishing like mist. Chelsea 93rd Azure Way Road. A beautiful and secluded villa sits in a white veil. It's impossible to tell whether the building is surrounded by mist or flowing clouds. The signal jammer Viper gave me allows me to silently scale the back wall and enter the courtyard. The trees' shadows cast diagonal lines across the grass and meticulously trimmed shrubs. The wrought iron fence enclosing the entire space resembles a carefully crafted prison. What exactly does Viper want me to see? Walking around the tree's shadow, I notice a familiar figure standing in the center of the garden.
Miss, you're visiting me.
He smiles, seemingly unperturbed by my sudden appearance. It's nice to see you again, Kevy. I respond with a grin that holds an equal amount of warmth to his smile. Is this your new home? Is everything okay?
The professor said I'd finish my coursework here. He thinks I'm talented, but I still have much to learn.
As I move closer, I find that Kevy is holding a brightly colored bird in his hands.
I found it in the garden.
He pinches its talons and watches the small bird struggle.
If I break its wings, it can stay here forever. It will die very quickly, though.
The fuck?
The professor said if we damage the bird's neuromuscular system, it won't be able to fly, but it will believe it can. Slowly, it'll get used to its life on the ground. The bird will then forget that it's supposed to fly.
A bone-chilling voice tinged with childlike innocence sends a shiver down my spine. Kevy, who's the professor? What's he like?
I can't tell you. You're not my family.
Family, huh? Do you remember Mia? After the fleet found you, did something happen? Can you tell me?
My sister? She's dead. The professor said it's wrong to be sad. I shouldn't be sad. I'll have a lot of brothers and sisters, and I'll be strong. I've always believed when you lose a loved one, you're supposed to be sad. But miss, I don't feel that way at all. Should I be sad?
Kevy's fingers inadvertently relax and the bird uses this opportunity to flap its wings and soar into the sky. He lowers his head, tears falling onto his hand. A confused expression appears on his face again. I touch his shoulder, ready to speak comforting words, but a faint mechanical noise catches my attention.
System error. Attempting a second reboot.
Huh?
The primary personality is attacking the control program.
My gaze flickers to a thin metal bracelet on Kevy's wrist. It emits a faint blue light.
No! It shouldn't be like this!
Kevy, are you okay? Can you hear me? But no matter how many times I call his name, Kevy doesn't respond. He stands still.
I shouldn't be... I shouldn't forget.
His sentences are fragmented. It's as if some program is taking over his mind.
The chip. Rereading. Inputting memory.
In the blink of an eye, his gaze focuses on me again. Before he can wipe away his tears, he smiles at me and slowly shakes off my hand on his shoulder.
Miss, you're visiting me. That's good. It's time for you to go. The professor will be here soon.
My chest tightens all of a sudden. Is this what Viper wanted me to witness? Did he want me to see Kevy being manipulated to the point where his memories are being rewritten? Could the fleet be behind this? Or maybe... someone's coming. As the sound of footsteps draw closer, I jump over the wall and hide in the bushes.
Did something happen, Kevy?
It's nothing. The bird just flew away.
The composed, slightly exhausted voice speaks again.
I see you're struggling to restrain the fragmented consciousness that isn't yours. Those memories, emotions, and feelings don't belong to you. Don't let them consume you.
All of a sudden, the air goes still. Then...
Was that girl, Mia, also part of your plan?
Wait, that's Caleb. What? My heart races all of a sudden. From just beyond the wall, I hear Caleb's voice.
She didn't show any signs of transformation. So why?
You're overthinking it. For normal people like her, we don't need to get too attached. Letting your emotions run wild and blaming yourself for every little mistake, it will only hold you back.
Caleb is here? It feels like I've been splashed with cold water. A chill runs down my spine as I try to stay calm.
How is everything going on your end?
We'll soon be done with cleanup. As for the salvaging process, we'll pick up the pace.
The plan will be starting again. You must ensure she doesn't interfere with it. Otherwise, I won't be able to keep this a secret for much longer.
She won't.
Stepping outside the gate to the garden, Caleb senses something. He stops in his tracks and turns around. All the windows lining the corridor reflect the reddish sunset as they converge at a single point.
What's the matter?
It's nothing.
The fleeting figure appears to be a trick of the light. He averts his gaze, observing the layers of fog which cover the outer wall.
If that day truly comes, and she discovers everything, I'll keep her hidden. She'll be in a place where no one can find her.
Despite my extended leave status, my urgent message doesn't raise any eyebrows among my colleagues in special operations. After requesting support regarding Kevy's condition, I also informed Captain Jenna of my deduction that the spatium core fragment had likely fallen into the Farspace Fleet's hands. In response, she repeatedly emphasizes Skyhaven's complex situation and would rather miss an opportunity than allow me to attempt a risky reacquisition mission. I promised multiple times not to act rashly. Soon enough, Andrew's search yielded preliminary results. Unsurprisingly, looking up Farspace Fleet and mind control chips gave no results. Of course, I understand. As I end the call, the clamor of traffic fills my ears. Above me, interwoven orbital tracks gleam like flowing streams of stars. The bustling scenery around me feels surreal. The moment I stop focusing on work, all the thoughts I've been pushing down start to rise up. Caleb wasn't just aware of the Farspace Fleet's actions. He also might have been involved in this scheme. Could his consistently vague whereabouts and highly classified cleanup be part of it? And what happened to the siblings? Was definitely not an accident, as the professor claimed. One thing's for certain: even if Mia's death was an accident, the fleet deliberately took Kevy. The fleet must be using some kind of chip to control Kevy and Joseph. They probably have goals that extend beyond obtaining ether core fragments. I lower my gaze and notice a metallic glint from my pocket. The necklace I had gifted Caleb still adorns my neck. Amidst the chaos these past few days, I forgot to return it. And in my coat's hidden pocket is a new stealth monitoring chip I brought from special operations just in case. Forgive me, Caleb. After a few minutes, I finally pull out my phone and dial Caleb's number. Hey.
What's up?
Nothing really. I just wanted to tell you my extended leave from the association is ending. I'll be heading back to Lincoln soon.
Has the date already been set?
No. I've been in Skyhaven for a couple of days and I got caught up in all sorts of things. I haven't had a chance to properly spend time with you. When would you be free? Is right now good?
Sure. I'm ready when you are. Do you have a place in mind?
I look up. A nearby tower, the Aerospace Center, looms over me. Its spire piercing the sky, moonlight gently shines over it. It used to be Caleb's stomping ground back when he worked at the Deepspace Aviation Administration. The serene scene changes as holographic advertisements dance among the clouds. Head over to the Sunset Promenade on the Aerospace Center's outer ring to witness a type loss supernova thousands of light years away. I heard there's a supernova today. It's not every day we get to see that, right? Let's check it out. Meet me at the Sunset Promenade in an hour. I'm running out of time. I can't finish this because I have a meeting in 10 minutes. So there will probably be a part 2 later. But I want to try my luck here. Before I leave. Ha! Nice. There will be new videos out when I have the time. I don't trust Caleb, but I don't know. We'll see if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I wonder what they give him. Silas has the feathers. Zane has snow or ice. Snowflake. Oh! Oh! Apple. Well, duh. Should have figured that out. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Nej, det var inte det jag skulle trycka på. Dumt. Den... I so don't have time for this, but whatever. Nothing. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Have a great day, and yeah, bye!